Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, and starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with a presidential tussle. 7 Supreme Court justices who will decide Tinubu Atiku Obi's fate today. The writer says 2 of 3 petitions that got to Supreme Court up for adjudication today. We have a good case at the Apex Court, LP. And on page 9, IPPIS, federal government to stop salaries of unverified workers tomorrow. And of course, on page 31, that's the sport page. Nigeria sets Africa record for most NBA players in a single season. Stories above, we have a brain drain. A federal government to increase enrollment of doctors, nurses next year. You can see that on page 8. And on page 6, Tinubu appoints 9 INEC RECs. On page 19, Senate to amend the CBN Act, bars governor from partisan politics. A domestic capital market, not foreign borrowing can fix the infrastructure gap in Nigeria, and that's coming from Vice President Shettima. All right, so let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with ex-governor stunned ministers. CSO demands a state pension law review, over 2.4 billion naira yearly pay. And on the stories below on page 6, the Senate alters CBN Act to bar governors, deputies from politics. On page 3, compel NNPCL to remit $34.2 billion to Federation account, Falana tells a finance minister. 3 on murder trial over witchcraft allegation, killing of 5. You can see that on page 9. President approves a 18 billion naira assurance policy for families of fallen heroes. Supreme Court delivers judgment today in Atiku Obi's appeal against Tinubu. Court dismisses suit by ExxonMobil against NMDPRA. Beware of politicians, Wike warn religious leaders. Well, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with Shettima. Farm centers in 774 councils to take off soon. Vice President who investors with Nigeria's 70 meters hectare of arable land. And no going back on October 31st exit date for ambassadors, government embargoes accounts. Stories above, federal government to delist unverified workers from payroll. 10 nominees for Senate screening as rec. New chief for Lagos orders. Oyebamiji Ukeyima appointed CEOs of maritime agency. Court removal of Ogbomoso, Oba Olaoye. Let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with diesel, jet fuel rising price, threatening industries, airlines. The writer says diesel aviation fuel sells for 1,000 naira, factory shut in Kano, Ogun, Anambra, others. Telecoms operators use 40 million liters of diesel monthly, and man warns against hike. We can see a photo story showing the federal government delegates visits flooded Ogun communities, promise succor. Mohbad hid for 6 months over fear of attack. That's coming from Mohbad's parents. You can read that on pages 4 and 5. National Assembly to probe lawyers, others behind the $11 billion P&ID scandal. Stories above. Supreme Court decides that Tinubu Atiku Obi poll battle today. A president to present a 2024 budget November, says Senate. You can read that on page 28. 5.5 trillion naira payroll. Federal government stop workers' salary, not on IPPIS. So that's how we can take on the front pages of the papers this morning. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining, still today in the news on Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi, and joining me is Mr. Ludari Mayowa, publisher of Global Financial Digest. He's going to be talking about some of the stories on the front pages this morning. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you join me this morning.
Good morning, Precious. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. All right, so let's delve in, and of course, as what some people have termed the judgment day today, the die is cast today as a 7-man panel of the Supreme Court rules on the appeals of Atiku and Obi challenging the election of President Tinubu. What are your expectations for today?
Thank you very much. I don't expect much from today, and from my reading, I don't think anything will change. Basically, because of not necessarily about the law or about any other factor, because of what I terms a difficult task ahead of the judges or the justice of the Supreme Court. I don't see any judge or any judge of the Supreme Court upturning the election of a sitting president. For me, I don't think that will happen, regardless of the evidence before them, regardless of whatever happened. Yes, justice will be served, no doubt about that, but there's always in the constitutions or the law to justify whatever decision the court will take. In reality, when we face in reality, the government has spent almost how many months in power? About 4 months plus going. And we think that in the third world country, in African country, the court will overturn the election of person who has already been established in the system. I don't see that happen for me as a person.
Moving on, the president has appointed 9 new resident electoral commissioners for a term of 5 years, and this is coming from a time yesterday or so, a report where former INEC boss Atiku was saying that he expects that the Senate should review the mode of appointment of these recs, and because he feels like some of them might be, sort of compromised. What do you make of that?
In democracy, that is the right thing to do, really, and in an advanced climb. We don't see the person, because president is an interested party. President, he belongs to a political party. He's going to contest election, for example, in the second term, or so to say. So it's an interested party. For an interested party in a particular issue, appointing, similarly appointing without recommendation, without input, or without so it looks somehow, and it deviates from the tenet of transparency in appointment. So for me, yes, I think there should be a think kind with the law. We deal with the appointment of REC and the officials of INEC. The INEC should be made independent indeed, and the way we can make INEC independent indeed is for the appointment of the officers or the key executive to be done by the independent body. Let's say a judicial council or whichever way we can want to do it. I think a body independent of the presidency, independent of the government should be set up to carry out this function. We should make it very transparent and clear. There should be a clear criteria for appointing somebody as a resident electoral commission, not the way it is today. And that could instill confidence in our electoral process. That's why I look at it from that angle. And I think it's not right for the president to keep appointing officers for INEC.
All right. Moving on, let's talk about this. Now, the Minister for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, said that the federal government will increase the enrollment of medical doctors and nurses in the next academic year. And the question is, there are reasons why we are suffering from brain drain in the health sector. Shouldn't the federal government be looking at those reasons instead of just, thinking of bringing more people? Because once they come into the system, they think of leaving as well.
I think you are right on that, really. Our challenge is not about enrollment. Our challenge is retainership. How do we retain our manpower in that sector? Oftentimes, as soon as they are leaving school, they are out because of the poor condition of service in this country. The condition they are working today in most of the hospitals in Lagos, and I'm aware of, the hospitals are being manned by student doctors from Lutz and the rest. So for me, it's most people are looking at the Japanese system has come to stay in this country, and training more because it's a good way to go. It's a, right way to go. But we need to do more. We need to begin to understand why they don't want to stay back in this country. Improve the condition of service, improve the environment they are working, and we'll be able to retain many people. In the past, in years back, we had doctors from India and the rest coming to work in Nigeria because the conditions were conducive for them to do during those period of time. But today, doctors are working extended hours of shift, and their compensation is very poor. So even when you train 1 million doctors today, most of them will be handed over in advanced countries where their service can be appreciated. So government need to focus on the prioritize improve condition of service, prioritize equipment, the right environment. Then we'll be talking about increasing enrollment.
All right. I'd like you to speak more on what makes a brain drain in the country very likely?
Yes, it is obvious. Nigeria today is going through excruciating economic condition. The inflation rate is going up, and people in it are not taking them home. You can imagine a $30,000 minimum wage. What can you buy with $30,000 today? Can't even take you for transport for a week. Buy fuel, for example, or even public transport. How much would that take you? How far would that take you? So a number of people will be looking outside where their condition will be better. You buy food in the market today. Every day you go to market. Every day you go to market to buy things. Price changes like 20%, 50%, most of the time. And as far as you cannot live comfortably, the cost of living is keep going up, and the environment is very hostile in terms of there's no power. Power is irregular, and the fuel price is already up. And when people cannot express confidence in the government of the day, or there's no hope for tomorrow for them, they will look for alternative to better their tomorrow. Because people are looking, because the reason why people are living is hope that tomorrow will be better for them. If people are living today, they cannot meet their daily needs today. How can there be hope of tomorrow? So now the people will want, if they take any opportunity, any available option for them, better their lot. And that's why we continue to experience brain drain from this country, as long as the condition is not right, as long that we are still experiencing so many hiccups in terms of a government. For example, you are going to government organization to procure any services. It takes you a longer period. You got pass through a lot of obstacle bureaucracy. Or this thing can ordinarily do in your bedroom, on your laptop, or your phone. But that makes it difficult. Go to get your driving license, go to get your passport. It becomes so difficult. So these are the conditions that trigger people to want to look at alternative. And alternative, once it's available for them, they go for it. So unless government begin to improve the environment to make it conducive for people to live, there's steady power, there's steady internet, for example, and people ability to live comfortably is food, access to food, access to basic need of man is made regularly available, at least minimally. Then people will be comfortable to live, to stay back. Well, after the absence of that one, people will look outside.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about this one. Now, the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation has announced plans to delist unverified civil servants from IPPIS and stop payment of their salaries after October 27th. Now, why have we been unable to address ghost worker syndromes in the Federation?
Unfortunately, the bureaucracy, the civil servant are the major problem of this country today. Because they are the people that are in behind this one. Those who are employing these workers, who are paying them illegally, are people in government and top officials who back this up. So it is very difficult for you to eliminate it. As long as you have inside that building, it's very difficult for you to eliminate them. So for government to actually get to the root of this thing, there's a lot of things they need to do. Why are we not digitalize our system? Why we have what we call Nigerian National Identity Card, for example, NIN number. Why are we not making use of that? Why are we not making use of the people's what do you call it, banking numbers, EVN? Why are we not making use of those things that can pin down to specific individual? We cannot be duplicated. Why are we not using that in our system? Why can't the system eliminate some of this where we have duplication of these things? For example, in the Niger Delta's administration program, we are where people, when single person will submit multiple BVM, multiple and the same cannot detect it. And one person will be using a salary of 50 people. Why don't you develop a system that can eliminate forgery, can eliminate some of this multiple entry? That's the only way we can get to and we are losing billions of naira today to some of this act in the first activity because of corruption in the system. And until we sit down and actually, what do we want? Do we want a nation that work or not? Until we get to that point, we may still continue to battle with some of this issue.
Okay, what factors do you think, provide opportunity for the creation of ghost workers in the public service?
Number one, there's no job in the country, so people are looking for ways or means. And when there's no opening, the number of people, like I said, the number of people is mostly corruption actually. The number of people in the civil service, they are paid, for example, and probably they are not satisfied with what they are getting from government, and they are looking for a way to augment it. And one of the ways to augment it was probably if you have home ghost workers, two ghost workers added to the payroll, you collected the money at the end of the month, added to your own money, you probably have enough money to play around with. These are the things: corruptions, lack of transparency, lack of accountability in the system. Where there's no punishment, sanction for wrongdoing, and Tinubu to improve from those things. When somebody is discovered to have committed a wrong in the system, that person is made to pay for his crime. It serves as deterrent for others. But when there is impunity in the system, nobody will arrest, nothing will happen. People will queue in to continue to perpetuate such occurrence in the system. So the government, there need to be a reform, and the leaders have to lead by example. Leaders have to show example. Like this is what people look at: the body language of the president, or the leaders, or the commissioner, or the ministers, or the head of service and rest. If their body language tolerates corruption, people kill behind them. If their body language tolerates, I say no nonsense, people kill behind them. So we have to have leaders who are strong in transparency, who are strong in accountability, and who is strong in anti-corruption. Then we can have a system that works.
In your own view, what are like the recommended solutions that can curb ghost worker syndrome in Nigeria?
Yeah, that's not exactly what I'm saying. Number one, improve what is the criteria for recruitment to the system. We need to transparently state that those things out. Secondly, we need to utilize it. No, the system, the internet is so, the system is so perfect that there's no way that the system will discover applications. Make everything online, make everything, digitalization, so that when we are recruiting, over time you can quickly record the number of staff you have in the particular department, and their assignment, their payment is done to transfer and correlate with the list you have on the online. So there's no way anybody can smuggle anyone. As long as you are still doing manual tabulation of workers and the rest, then you can do this. So government must carry out a major overhaul reform in such a manner that every process in the system is digitalized. We have a technology driving every process. It's to reduce some of those things. Oh yes, there's still some lacuna in it, but set up a system of review and review your system over time, and appoint people who are credible to head the system. But if you're giving the parasitous edge to politicians, to people of the politicians and the rest, then the system will be corrupted. But once you're able to ensure that the criteria and the list out, for example, we want to appoint a permanent secretary or head of service, we appoint a consultancy like PMG, reputable organization that will do recruitment process for the government. People have to pass through some of this process to get a job, and you know that they don't want to lose that job. They will behave themselves. But as long as everybody can just bring their letter, comment card from the president of the Senate, from the chief of staff, from ministers to get appointment, we have so many people in the system, and the system will be loaded with either the fake or whatever we are having. That's why we have this ghost worker syndrome in the country. But you can stop it through some of this mayor.
All right, let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. And Mr. is speaking this morning. He says, I'll give only what I can afford. If you think you can force me against my will, then you will wait till the camel passes through the eyes of the needle. And Mrs. replies, says, okay, I can see you are taking the third glass of aphrodisiac, but you only touch me when the cock grows teeth.
Just blackmail. Just blackmail. So I got to corner, so we have to make a choice in the sense of it. And unfortunately, people have to learn to negotiate rather than just try to impose or pass down the order in the home. the family is require negotiation between husband and wife and consensus, building consensus, and that's what they have to really organize. And I think that's the message being passed. If you have one side of the coin, the knife with you, I also have the one other side of it. I can make use of it. But when you reach consensus, I'm going to say by negotiation, you have peaceful. And that's the message to the public. A very good one.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Luda Emayowa, publisher of Global Financial Digest. Thank you for sharing your thought with us this morning.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely day.
Also, remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. To find out up-to-date stories, go to our website, www.vanguardndr.com, to find out more. I am Precious Chukudi. Thank you for watching.